Listen to me. You have been lied to. Your entire life, you've been taught that discipline is a cage, that it's about deprivation, about saying no, about punishment. This lie is the very thing holding you back from the life you are capable of living. This book exists to incinerate that lie. Discipline is not your prison. It is your release. It is not your punishment. It is your power. For the next hour, you will not just learn this truth, you will be forced to embody it. The path to liberation starts now. Stop listening and start hearing. You wake up. The alarm is screaming, and in that split second, before you're even fully conscious, the narrative begins. I don't want to. Just 5 more minutes. This is a struggle. Stop. Right there. The very first thing you need to do today is to erase that word from your vocabulary. Struggle. It's a lie. A weak, pathetic, self-pitying lie you tell yourself to justify the surrender that's about to follow. Calling it a struggle frames discipline as a battle against yourself. And why would you ever win a war against yourself? You'd just be left with the rubble of your own potential. That's the old narrative, the loser's script. Today we burn it. This is not a struggle. It is a choice. A clear, conscious, powerful choice. The most important choice you will make all day. You are not a victim of your alarm clock. You are not a victim of your job. You are not a victim of your own life. You are the commander. And commanders don't struggle. They decide. They act. Let's get one thing straight right now. Discipline is not a punishment. It is not a battle you wage against your lazy, weaker self. That's a childish way to see it. Discipline is an act of self-love. It is the ultimate expression of personal sovereignty. It is you looking in the mirror and saying, I value myself too much to let me get away with that. It's you taking ownership of the one thing in this universe you can truly control, your own actions. When you choose the salad over the junk food, that's not a struggle. That's you loving your body enough to fuel it properly. When you choose the workout over the couch, that's not a battle. That's you respecting your physical vessel too much to let it decay. When you choose the difficult task over the distraction, that's not a war. That's you honoring your mind and your mission. You have a choice. You always have a choice. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And this brings us to the core of it all. The pain paradox. Here is the single most important piece of understanding you need to lock into your brain. The pain of discipline is finite. It's sharp, it's acute, and it's over quickly. It's the 5 seconds of cold water when you get in the shower. It's the first mile of the run when your body is screaming. It's the 30 minutes of focused, deep work before your brain wants to check social media. That pain is productive. It's a signal of growth. It's the feeling of your comfort zone expanding. You feel it, you acknowledge it, and you move through it. And on the other side, pride, strength, accomplishment. Now let's talk about the other pain. The pain of avoidance, the pain of regret. This pain is infinite. It's corrosive. It's a slow, soul-eating acid. Think about it. That moment you hit the snooze button, the pain of getting up is over in a second. But the pain of being late, of starting your day in a frantic rush, of knowing you failed your first test of the day, that lingers, that compounds. The pain of saving money instead of making an impulsive buy. It's gone the moment you see your bank account grow. But the pain of being broke at the end of the month, of not being able to handle an emergency, of feeling financially helpless, that's a deep, gnawing anxiety that follows you everywhere. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. That's the key. You are going to feel pain either way. One pain builds you, the other destroys you. So which one do you choose? The finite, productive pain, or the infinite, corrosive one? You have a choice. This isn't some abstract philosophy. This is a practical, immediate tool you can use from this moment forward. It's a verbal and mental reframe that will rewire your brain. I call it the I get to mantra. You need to kill the words, I have to. They are words of a slave. I have to go to work. I have to go to the gym. I have to eat healthy. No, stop it. From now on, you say, I get to. I get to go to work. Because it means you have the capacity to produce value, to earn, to provide for yourself and your family. You are not a dependent. You are a contributor. I get to go to the gym because it means you have a functioning body. You have the health, the mobility, and the opportunity to strengthen it. That is a privilege millions would kill for. I get to eat healthy food because it means you have the knowledge and the means to nourish yourself properly. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a curator of your own health. You don't have to be disciplined. You get to be powerful. Say that out loud. Right now, I get to be powerful. This mantra flips the entire script. It takes an obligation and turns it into an opportunity. It takes a burden and turns it into a blessing. Every time you do the hard thing, you are not struggling. You are flexing your power. You are asserting your sovereignty. You are voting for the person you are becoming. It's not about motivation. It's about decision. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes. Decision is permanent. You decide who you are. You decide what you stand for. And then you act in accordance with that decision, regardless of how you feel. So the next time that alarm goes off, don't have a conversation with yourself. Don't negotiate. Don't frame it as a struggle. In that single moment, you have a choice. The finite pain of action, or the infinite pain of regret. Choose the pain that builds. Choose to see it for what it is, a privilege, a chance to be powerful. You get to be disciplined. You get to be powerful. You don't need your own permission to start acting like it. You've reframed the battle. You've taken the first step towards sovereignty. Now, you need to understand the weapon that will protect it from the world's constant noise. Let's get one thing straight right now. That feeling you're protecting? That desire to stay where it's warm, where it's familiar, where you know what to expect. It's not safety. It's a lie. Your brain, in its primitive, lazy wisdom, has sold you a bill of goods. It has convinced you that comfort is the same thing as security. It is not. In fact, your comfort zone is the most dangerous place you can possibly be. It's a cage. And the worst part? It's a cage with the door wide open. But you won't walk out, because out there looks scary. Out there looks uncertain. In here, you know the dimensions. You know exactly how far you can walk before you hit the bars. It feels manageable. It feels controlled. But I'm here to tell you that this control is an illusion. This safety is a fantasy. Every day you spend inside that cage, you are getting weaker, softer, more dependent on the very bars that hold you. Think about it. What happens when you avoid a difficult conversation? You get a temporary hit of relief. Phew, dodged that one, but the problem doesn't go away. It festers. It grows in the dark of your avoidance. What happens when you skip the workout because you're a little tired? You reinforce the idea that your feelings are in charge. That discomfort is a stop sign, not a stepping stone. You are training yourself to be fragile. You are building your own prison, one avoided challenge at a time. You have a choice. You can listen to the whining voice that begs for comfort, or you can listen to the quiet, determined one that demands growth. Nowhere is this cage more visible, more tangible than in the slow, insidious decay of social confidence. Let's talk about social anxiety. Let's get specific. It starts small. You're invited to a party after a long week. You're tired. The idea of making small talk, of putting on a face, feels exhausting. So you make an excuse. Next time. And you get your hit of comfort. You stay home. The world feels manageable again. But then, a week later, a colleague asks if you want to grab lunch with the team. That little jolt of anxiety fires in your chest. The thought of navigating the group dynamic, of being on, feels like a burden. So you say you have a mountain of work to do. You eat at your desk. Again, the immediate discomfort is avoided. You feel that familiar sedative relief. What are you actually doing? You are training your brain to believe that social situations are a threat. You are telling your nervous system, you were right to be anxious. Look, we avoided it and we're safe. And so your world begins to shrink. It shrinks from parties, to group lunches, to one-on-one coffees, until even making a phone call to schedule a dentist appointment feels like a monumental task. Your opportunities for connection vanish. Your network withers. Your confidence, which is built like a muscle through repeated use, atrophies. Your cage, once large enough to hold a full life, is now the size of your apartment. You have a choice. You can let the cage shrink, or you can force it to expand. This isn't about being an extrovert. This isn't about becoming the life of the party. This is about discipline. It's about the fundamental discipline of engaging with the world on your terms, not on the terms of your most fearful instincts. It's not about anxiety, it's about discipline. The discipline to show up when you don't want to. The discipline to speak when you'd rather stay silent. The discipline to listen when you'd rather tune out. So, how do you break out? You don't need a grand, dramatic gesture. You don't need to quit your job and move to Bali. That's just another form of escapism. The escape happens right here, right now, in the mundane moments of your daily life. The escape happens through consistent, deliberate, uncomfortable action. Your new command, your daily mantra, is this. Seek the daily pinch of discomfort. That pinch is the feeling of your cage expanding. Feel that pinch when you force yourself to make eye contact and give a firm handshake. Feel that pinch when you speak up in a meeting and voice an opinion, even if your voice shakes a little. Feel that pinch when you go to the gym despite every cell in your body begging you to hit the snooze button. Feel that pinch when you choose the salad over the fries, not because you hate the fries, but because you love your health more. That sharp, fleeting sensation of unease. That is the sound of the bars of your cage straining. That is the feeling of you growing stronger than your surroundings. Seek the daily pinch of discomfort. That pinch is the feeling of your cage expanding. This is how you reclaim your territory. This is how you take back the ground you've ceded to your own fear. You do it not with one massive blow, but with 1,000 small, deliberate presses against the walls. Every time you choose the harder, right thing over the easier, wrong thing, you are adding an inch to your world. You are proving to yourself, on a fundamental level, that you are the one in control. You don't need their permission. You don't need the world to be less scary. You just need to be more disciplined. Stop romanticizing your comfort. Stop telling yourself the story that you're just an introvert or not a people person. These are just labels you use to justify the cage. Tear them off. Your identity isn't fixed. It's forged. And it's forged in the fires of deliberate, chosen discomfort. The cage door is open. It has always been open. The only thing holding you inside is your own negotiated surrender to comfort. That ends today. Your mission is simple. Before the day is done, you will find one pinch. One small, manageable but definite moment of discomfort, and you will walk directly into it. You will feel the resistance. You will acknowledge the fear, and you will act anyway. That's the key. Action, in spite of how you feel. That action, no matter how small, is a declaration of war on your former self. It is the first and most important step to becoming who you are meant to be. You've identified the cage. You felt the bars. Now it's time to learn the weapon you will use to break them. It's time to stop talking and start doing. Let's get one thing straight. You are tired. Not just tired in your body, but tired in your mind. Tired of making decisions. Tired of fighting the same battles every single morning. What to wear, what to eat, whether to work out, whether to start that project, whether to avoid your email. The list is endless. And by the time the truly important moment of your day arrives, you have nothing left. You're mentally bankrupt. This isn't a personal failing. This is a design flaw. You are trying to fight a war with no armor. You're relying on feeling, on motivation, on the ever-changing weather of your emotions to get you through a day that demands consistency. It will never work. It hasn't worked yet. And the reason is a silent killer called decision fatigue. Every single choice you make, from the moment you open your eyes, drains the same limited reservoir of willpower. The trivial choices drain it just as much as the critical ones. So when you've spent your mental energy on 20 minor decisions before 9 a.m., you have nothing left for the one decision that could actually change your career, your health, your life. You choose the path of least resistance. You scroll. You snack. You procrastinate. You fail. Not because you're weak, but because you're strategically stupid. You've left yourself unguarded. But there is a fix. A simple, brutal, and profoundly effective one. You stop relying on you. You stop asking yourself how you feel. You build a structure so strong that your worst day can't collapse it. You forge the armor of routine. Your routine is not a suggestion. It is not a list of nice to-dos for when you're feeling productive. It is your personal constitution. It is the set of laws you write for yourself, so you don't have to be a tyrant to yourself every day. It automates your success. It makes the right choice the only choice. And in doing so, it conserves your precious willpower for the truly critical, unexpected battles that matter. You have a choice. You can be a slave to your dwindling willpower every day, or you can be the architect of your own freedom. That's the key. So how do you build this armor? You start small, but you start absolute. You build what I call the power triangle. One non-negotiable task for each of the 3 pillars of your life: body, mind, and mission. Just one for each, not 10. 1. For your body, it's not work out for an hour. It's something so simple that to skip it would be an act of self-sabotage. It could be 20 minutes of intense exercise, no exceptions, or a green smoothie for breakfast every day, or 10 minutes of stretching the moment you get out of bed. Just one thing that serves your physical vessel. You do not negotiate with yourself on this. You don't need their permission to take care of the only body you'll ever have. For your mind, it's not read more. It's a concrete action. It could be 10 pages of a non-fiction book with your morning coffee, or 5 minutes of silent meditation before you check your phone, or writing 1 page in a journal even if it's just, I don't know what to write. This is mental hygiene. It's cleaning the lens through which you see the world. You do it because a cluttered mind makes cowardly decisions. For your mission, it's not work on my big project. It's the one lever that, if pulled every single day, would move your life forward. It could be 1 hour of deep, undistracted work on your most important task. Phone off, door closed. Or making 1 proactive call to a client or a connection. Or creating 1 piece of content, 1 lesson, 1 small step. This is about your legacy. You do it because the world doesn't pay you for your intentions. It pays you for your output. This power triangle, body, mind, mission, is your daily victory. Complete it before you get lost in the noise of other people's demands. This is how you build momentum. This is how you build identity. You are no longer someone who tries to be healthy. You are someone who does their body non-negotiable. You are not someone who wants to be smart. You are someone who feeds their mind without fail. You are not someone with a dream. You are someone who advances their mission daily, and this brings us to the core truth of this chapter. The secret you've been missing. You don't need more willpower. You need better rituals. Willpower is a flame that flickers and dies. Ritual is a forge. It's hardened, reliable, and it strengthens with use. When you ritualize the power triangle, you are not expending energy deciding to do it. You are simply executing a program you wrote for your success. You don't need more willpower. You need better rituals. Your routine is the forge where your discipline is hardened. Think of your day as a battlefield. Chaos, distractions, and demands are the enemy, constantly firing arrows at you. Without armor, you get wounded. You get tired. You fall. Your routine is the plate mail you strap on every morning. It deflects the trivial. It absorbs the shock of the unexpected. It allows you to march forward, focused on your objective, while the noise of the world rattles harmlessly off the steel. Your routine is your armor against a chaotic world. It's not about feeling motivated. It's about being disciplined. It's not about wanting to do your workout. It's about the ritual of putting on your shoes and getting out the door. It's not about feeling inspired to work. It's about the ritual of sitting down at your desk at the same time, every time, and not moving until the deep work hour is complete. The feeling follows the action, always. You don't need more willpower. You need better rituals. So, your assignment is this. Tonight, before you let your brain shut down, you will write your power triangle for tomorrow. 1 non-negotiable for your body, 1 for your mind, 1 for your mission. Write it down, and tomorrow you will execute it not with passion, but with precision. You will not debate it. You will not reschedule it. You will wear your armor. You will feel the weight of it, and you will feel the protection it provides. That feeling of being in command, of being unshakable, that is the feeling of discipline replacing disorder. You have now built your defenses. You have forged your armor, but a fortress is not just defined by its walls. It's defined by its gates. What do you let in? What voices, what information, what distractions are you allowing to breach your perimeter? It's time to master the flow of information and reclaim your focus. The discipline of filtering the world itself. Let's talk about your favorite fairy tale. It's not the one you think. It's not Cinderella or Snow White. It's the story you tell yourself every single day when you hit the snooze button, when you scroll instead of work, when you choose the easy over the essential. It's the one-day fantasy, and it's poison. One day, I'll start that business. One day I'll get in shape. One day, when things calm down, I'll write that book. Mend that relationship. Build that life. It sounds so hopeful, doesn't it? It feels like a plan. But I'm here to tell you it's not. It's a lie you use to sedate yourself. It's the procrastinator's favorite drug, and you're the main supplier. You are getting high on your own potential, and the hangover is a life of quiet desperation. That's the key. You think one day is a target on the calendar. It's not. It's a cage. It's a fantasy you use to excuse your present inaction. Because as long as one day is out there, you never have to face the discomfort of today. You never have to risk failure today. You can always cling to the idea that the real you, the successful you, is waiting in the wings for the perfect moment to make an entrance. Let me be blunt, that moment is never coming. The curtain doesn't rise on a perfect stage. You build the stage yourself, with bloody knuckles and sheer force of will, in the middle of the mess you're in right now. You have a choice. You can live in the comforting, soft focus fantasy of one day, or you can live in the hard, tangible reality of right now. But you cannot do both. The fantasy must die for the reality to be built. So, how do you kill it? You don't kill it with another grand, sweeping declaration about the future. You kill it with a single decisive action in the present. You counter the vague one day with the specific, undeniable power of today one. Listen to me. This is not a metaphor. This is a tactical maneuver. For every one-day goal that floats in your mind, you must immediately identify a today one action. This is non-negotiable. One day I'll be fit becomes today. I will walk for 20 minutes, not tomorrow, today. One day I'll be a writer becomes today. I will write 200 words. One day I'll fix my finances becomes today. I will cancel one unused subscription and create a budget on a single piece of paper. That's the key. You don't need their permission. You don't need the stars to align. You need one action. Today. The today one action is the antidote to the fantasy. It's a small, concrete brick you lay in the foundation of your real life, not the one you dream about. It proves to yourself, in a way that no affirmation ever could, that you are the kind of person who does the things. It's not about motivation. It's about initiation. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to do it. And every time you execute a today one action, you are sending a message to your entire nervous system. You are telling the part of you that wants to quit, we are not that person anymore. We are builders. You are proving your own reliability to yourself. You don't need their validation. You have your own. But when you fail to do this, when you let the one-day fantasy float by without challenging it, you are committing a profound act of self-betrayal. I want you to understand the gravity of this. Every time you say one day, you are betraying the person you have the potential to become. Think about that. Your future self, the one who is confident, capable, and living the life you currently only fantasize about, is relying on you. That version of you is counting on the you of today to make the hard choices, to do the boring work, to feel the discomfort. And when you choose the fantasy over the action, you are leaving that future self stranded. You are stabbing them in the back before they even have a chance to exist. Stop betraying your future self. The person you want to be in 5 years is shaped by the decisions you make in the next 5 minutes. Not next year. Not when you have more time. Now. You are either building that person, or you are murdering them with your complacency. You have a choice. It's not about having a grand, perfect plan for one day. It's about the discipline of today one. It's about the discipline of translating a vague wish into an immediate physical action. That is the alchemy of transformation. You turn the lead of your fantasy into the gold of your reality through the furnace of present moment action. So I'm giving you an assignment. Right now, as you're listening to this, I want you to identify one-day fantasy you've been coddling. Get it out of the shadows and into the light. Say it out loud. One day I will... Now, what is the today one action? What is the single, small, non-negotiable thing you will do before you go to sleep tonight to make it real? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. You don't need their permission. You just need your own. Do that. And you have started the process of murdering the fantasy. Do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the day after that. String enough today ones together. And you will wake up one morning living in the one day you used to only dream about. But it won't be a fantasy anymore. It will be your life. A life you built. One disciplined day at a time. You've just killed the fantasy that held you back. Now, you need to master the internal voice that tries to resurrect it. Let's talk about controlling the most powerful tool you have. Chapter 5. The Discipline of Silence. Listen to me. This might be the most important shift you ever make. It's the line that separates the amateurs from the professionals, the talkers from the doers, the people who look successful from the people who are successful. Right now, you are probably addicted to proving. You announce your goals to get a hit of validation. You perform busyness on social media to show the world you're in the game. You talk about the business you're going to start, the weight you're going to lose, the person you're going to become. And for a moment it feels good. It feels like progress. But it's a lie. And deep down you know it. That need for external validation is a leak in your fuel tank. You're letting all the energy you should be pouring into the work itself, the gritty, unsexy, difficult work, evaporate into the air for a few cheap likes and comments. You get a premature sense of accomplishment, and it drains the discipline required for the real thing. This is the performance trap, and it's keeping you broke, weak, and dependent. Think about it. Who actually builds something lasting? Is it the person who posts a 10-story thread about their life-changing new morning routine, only to ghost it 2 weeks later? Or is it the person who, for a full year, wakes up an hour early, in silence, without a single post, and grinds away at a skill? Who do you trust? Who would you bet on? The answer is obvious. The silent builder wins every single time, because their validation comes from within. Their satisfaction comes from the work itself, from the gradual compounding improvement that no one else can see until it's undeniable. You have a choice. You can be the performer, or you can be the builder. The performer needs an audience. The builder needs a blueprint and a work ethic. One is fragile. The other is unbreakable. Let's get brutally honest. That hustle porn you post, the pictures of your laptop in a coffee shop, the declarations of being a CEO, it's not for the clients. It's not for business. It's for your ego. You're seeking permission. You're shouting, "Look at me! Do I look like a successful person yet?" You're waiting for the world to validate your potential before you've even cashed the first check. Stop it. You don't need their permission. Your life is not a reality show that needs a live studio audience. It's a private construction site. And on a construction site, the work comes before the ribbon-cutting ceremony. The shift is simple, but it's not easy. You must move from proving to doing, from performing to building. This is where you start. Today, I want you to adopt a new mantra. Repeat this to yourself every time you feel the urge to announce, to explain, to perform. Let your results make the noise. Do the work in silence. Your life is your proof, not your post. Let me say that again. Let your results make the noise. Do the work in silence. Your life is your proof, not your post. That's the key. It's not about your intentions. It's about your output. It's not about your dreams. It's about your discipline. The world doesn't pay you for what you plan to do. It pays you for what you have already done. The finished product, the shipped project, the solved problem, the transformed body, the money in the bank. So, how do you actually do this? What does working in the shadows look like in practice? First, stop announcing your goals. Keep your mouth shut and your eyes on the target. Tell no one about the book you're writing. Tell no one about the certification you're studying for. The act of telling someone gives your brain a little trophy, tricking it into feeling like the task is already accomplished. It releases dopamine you haven't earned. Guard that energy. Let the tension of the unfulfilled goal build inside you until the only way to release it is to actually complete the damn thing. Second, quit the performative busyness. No one cares how many hours you worked if you have nothing to show for it. Stop posting the hustle and start posting the result. And even then, only if it serves a strategic purpose. Otherwise, just bank the money. Just enjoy the fit body. Just live in the beautiful, quiet confidence of a person who knows what they've built. You have a choice. You can be the person who talks a big game, or you can be the person with the win-loss record. You can be the one who always has a big thing coming soon, or you can be the one who suddenly, and seemingly out of nowhere, emerges with a finished product that shocks everyone. That's the power of silence. When you work in silence, your success, when it finally appears, looks like luck to everyone else. They'll say, "Wow, he got lucky with that business. She just has good genetics." They won't see the foray. alarms, the rejected drafts, the failed prototypes, the sweat, the sacrifice. They only see the tip of the iceberg. And that's how you want it. Because that's real power. Power that doesn't need to explain itself. Let your results make the noise. Do the work in silence. Your life is your proof, not your post. That's not just a phrase. It's a discipline. It's the discipline of silence. It's the commitment to let your actions, and only your actions, speak for you. And when you master this, when you stop seeking external validation, You unlock a new kind of focus. A quiet, relentless drive that is entirely your own. You realize the only audience that ever mattered was you. The only approval you needed was your own. You've learned to build in silence. But what do you do with all the noise that's already in your head? The doubt, the criticism, the endless internal chatter? That's the next battle. You've stopped proving to the world. Now, you must master the voice inside your own mind. Let's get one thing straight right now. You have a romantic Hollywood idea of discipline. You think it's about a single heroic moment, a dramatic all-night grind session, a sudden, explosive transformation that leaves everyone in awe. You're wrong. Dead wrong. That fantasy is the very thing keeping you stuck. Because you wait for that moment. You wait for the motivation, for the perfect conditions, for the thunderclap of inspiration. And while you're waiting, you do nothing. The gap between where you are and where you want to be feels like a canyon, so you never take the first step. Forget the canyon. We're not jumping canyons today. We're building a bridge, one brick at a time. This chapter is about the brutal, beautiful mathematics of momentum. It's not about inspiration. It's about installation. Installing tiny, relentless systems that compound into an unstoppable force. This is where willpower transforms into wired-in habit. This is where you stop thinking about being disciplined and start being it. Listen closely. The first law of this new math is the 1% compounding rule. You look at someone who's a titan in their field, a master of their craft, a physical specimen, a financial powerhouse, and you think, I could never do that. And you're right, you can't. Not in one day. But they didn't either. Discipline is not a grand gesture. It's the relentless application of small, seemingly insignificant actions. Think of it as financial compounding, but for your character. If you get 1% better every day, where are you in a year? You're not 365% better. The math doesn't work like that. You compound. You become 37 times better. But if you get 1% worse every day, where does that leave you? You decline to nearly zero. That's the cold, hard equation of your life, playing out in the background every single day, making your bed when you feel like staying in it. That's 1%. Reading 10 pages of a challenging book instead of scrolling. That's 1%. Choosing water over soda. That's 1%. These actions feel trivial, insignificant. You don't see the progress, so you quit. You don't trust the process, that's the key. You have to trust the math, not your mood. The results are invisible at first, but they are accruing. Every one of those microscopic choices is a deposit into the bank of your future self. The interest compounds in silence, and then one day, you wake up and the balance is staggering. You are suddenly undeniably powerful. But it was never sudden. It was the sum total of every single 1% decision you made along the way. You have a choice. Compound your greatness or compound your decay. The formula is running either way. But how do you even start that first 1%? When the task feels too big and the resistance is a wall of concrete in your mind, you use the second law, the 2-minute rule. Here's the single most effective weapon against procrastination you will ever own. Any task that feels daunting, any project you're avoiding, any new habit you want to build, you don't commit to the whole thing. That's the trap. You only commit to the first 2 minutes. You don't commit to a 1-hour workout. You commit to putting on your workout shoes and stepping out the door. 2 minutes. You don't commit to writing a 3,000-word chapter. You commit to opening the document and writing 1 sentence. 2 minutes. You don't commit to cleaning the entire garage. You commit to picking up 5 pieces of trash. 2 minutes. Why does this work? Because you're not fighting the task. You're fighting the starting. The 2-minute rule is a psychological Jedi mind trick. It makes the entry cost so laughably small that your brain's resistance has no footing. I can do anything for 2 minutes, it thinks. And once you've started, the friction disappears. You've broken the initial inertia. You're in motion, and an object in motion tends to stay in motion. You'll find that after putting on your shoes, you'll think, well, I might as well walk to the end of the street. After writing 1 sentence, you'll write another. After picking up 5 pieces of trash, you'll organize 1 shelf. The goal is not to finish the task in 2 minutes. The goal is to master the start. Momentum builds from motion, not from thought. You don't need their permission to start. You don't need to feel like it. You just need a timer and 2 minutes of focused action. That's the key. That's how you bypass the debate in your head and build momentum from a standstill. And this is where it all comes together. This chain of 1% gains, these daily 2-minute starts, They are not just about checking boxes. They are about something far more profound. They are building the chain of evidence. This is the most important concept in this chapter. Your brain is a courtroom, and you are constantly on trial. The jury is your self-image. The prosecution is your past, your failures, your insecurities. It's shouting, "You're lazy! You're undisciplined! You're a fraud!" You can't argue with the prosecution. You can't just tell the jury you're different. You have to present evidence. Hard, physical, undeniable proof. Every time you complete a 2-minute start, every time you bank that 1% gain, you are entering a new piece of evidence into the record. You are building a case for your new identity. Every disciplined action is a vote for your new identity. Did you get out of bed the second the alarm went off? That's a vote for "I am a person of action." Did you choose the grilled chicken over the fries? That's a vote for "I am someone who respects my body." Did you do your 2 minutes of work on your side project? That's a vote for "I am a builder." Every disciplined action is a vote for your new identity. Don't break the chain of evidence you are building for yourself. One vote doesn't win the election. But a string of votes, day after day, creates a landslide. The prosecution's voice gets quieter. The jury, your self-image, has no choice but to deliver a new verdict: guilty. Of being a disciplined, capable, powerful individual. You are literally rewriting your identity, not with affirmations, but with action. Don't break the chain of evidence you are building for yourself. One missed day isn't a failure. It's just a weak piece of evidence for the prosecution. Get back on the stand the next day and present a stronger one. This is the math of momentum. It's not sexy. It's 1% gains. It's 2-minute starts. It's a relentless, daily collection of evidence. This is how you build an unshakable identity. You stop trying to be disciplined, and you start proving that you already are. You've built the momentum. You're in motion, but motion creates noise. The next step is to master the power of quiet, to learn the discipline of controlling what you say, and more importantly, when you say nothing at all. Let's get one thing straight. You think this path you're on, this path of discipline, of mastery, of claiming your life, is supposed to feel good all the time? You think you're going to wake up every single day with a smile, ready to conquer the world? Stop lying to yourself. Some days, discipline will feel awful.
It will be a grind.
It will be monotonous. It will be uncomfortable. It will, in a word, suck. And I am here to tell you that this is not a sign you're on the wrong path. It is the absolute, undeniable proof that you are on the right one. The grind is the gift. The obstacle is not the enemy. The obstacle is the way. The resistance you feel. That voice in your head begging you to hit snooze, to skip the workout, to put off the hard conversation. That resistance is the very thing that's going to forge you into someone stronger. Someone unbreakable. Think of a blade being tempered in fire. The fire isn't there to destroy it. The fire is there to remove the impurities, to make the steel hard, to give it a razor's edge. Your life right now is that piece of steel. The suck, the fatigue, the boredom, the frustration, that's your fire. You can either step into it and be transformed, or you can run from it and remain soft, dull, and useless. This is the core of the choice you have to make. Not once, but every single hour of every single day. You have a choice. You can choose the temporary comfort of avoidance, or you can choose the permanent power of leaning into the discomfort. That's the key. Leaning in, the professional versus the amateur. This is the great divider. This is the line in the sand, and you are on one side of it or the other. The amateur is a slave to his feelings. He only works when he's motivated. He only takes action when the conditions are perfect. He waits for inspiration to strike. He waits for the universe to give him a sign. He waits for permission, and while he's waiting, his life slips through his fingers. The amateur believes the world owes him a feeling of readiness before he begins. He is a tourist in his own destiny. The professional? The professional does not wait. The professional does not care how he feels. His motivation is not a prerequisite for his action. His action is the source of his momentum. The professional understands that duty, not emotion, is the engine of achievement. He shows up whether it's sunny or storming, whether he's well-rested or exhausted, whether he feels inspired or utterly empty. He works because it is his identity. It is his obligation to himself. The amateur works until it starts to suck, then he quits. The professional works because it sucks, and in doing so, he transcends it. You don't need their permission. You don't need to feel like it. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Say that to yourself, out loud. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Motivation is a flickering candle, easily blown out by the first gust of wind. Discipline is the sun. It rises, relentless, every single day, regardless of whether anyone is there to see it. Your job is to become the sun in your own life. So what do you do on the days the candle has gone out? When the darkness feels absolute and every fiber of your being is screaming for you to quit. The deeper why, you go deeper. You go back to the source. You connect, not to your fleeting feelings, but to your unshakable core why. Why are you doing this? Is it for the applause? Then you'll fail. Is it for the money? That might get you started, but it won't get you through the real darkness. Your why has to be anchored in something so profound, so personal, so non-negotiable that it becomes the anchor in your storm. Is it for your family? To prove to your children what true strength looks like. Is it for the version of yourself you know you were meant to be, the one you catch a glimpse of in the mirror on your best days? Is it for the sheer defiant act of claiming your own sovereignty, of looking at a world that tries to make you soft and saying, no, not me? Your why is your fuel. And when it sucks, you need more fuel. You don't look for an exit. You look for a deeper well. When it sucks, go deeper. Connect to your core, why. Your why must be stronger than the suck. Repeat it like a mantra. When you're on that last mile and your lungs are burning, my why is stronger than this suck. When you're staring at a blank screen, fighting the urge to scroll, my why is stronger than this suck. When you have to have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding, my why is stronger than this suck. This is the alchemy of greatness. It's the process of taking the base metal of a terrible, grinding, awful feeling and transmuting it into the gold of unbreakable will. You are not avoiding the pain. You are using it. You are forging your character in the furnace of daily struggle. You have a choice. You always have a choice. You can see the suck as a barrier, or you can see it as the training ground. That's the key. Reframe the struggle. Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, how is this happening for me? How is this resistance making me stronger, sharper, more resilient? Embrace the suck. Don't just endure it. Don't just tolerate it. Welcome it. Thank it for showing up, because its presence means you're in the arena. You're not on the sidelines. You're in the fight, and every time you choose to lean in, you are winning the only battle that truly matters, the battle against the weaker version of yourself. You've chosen to stop running from the struggle. But there's another, more subtle force that steals your power, often without you even noticing. It's time to reclaim your focus and your energy. Let's get one thing straight. You are not special. I don't mean that in a cruel way. I mean it in a factual, liberating way. You are not a superhuman. You do not possess an infinite well of willpower that the rest of us lack. You are a biological machine, wired for efficiency, for the path of least resistance. And you are constantly, silently, being shaped by the world you've built around you. You think your lack of progress is a personal failing, a weakness of character. You beat yourself up for scrolling on your phone instead of working, for eating the junk food, for skipping the gym. You think, if only I had more discipline. Stop. That's the wrong battlefield. You're fighting the wrong war. The real war isn't inside your skull. It's out there, in your kitchen, on your phone, in the people you call your friends. Your environment is the invisible hand, gently, persistently, pushing you toward a predetermined destination. And right now, for most of you, that destination is mediocrity. It's comfort. It's failure. You have a choice. You can continue to fight a losing battle against a rigged system, or you can stop fighting and start designing. The first brutal truth you must accept is this: you are not stronger than your surroundings. Believing you are is the ultimate arrogance, and it's the reason you keep failing. You think you can keep the cookies in the cupboard and just have one. You think you can have Instagram on your home screen and just check it quickly. You think you can hang out with people who complain all night and not have your own mindset eroded. That's a fantasy. It's a lie you tell yourself to feel strong while you're being weak. Willpower is not a personality trait. It's a finite resource. It's like a muscle. It fatigues. Every trivial decision you make, what to wear, what to eat for breakfast, whether to reply to an email, drains a little bit of that resource. By the time you face a real test, your willpower tank is on empty. You're defenseless, that's the key. Discipline isn't about white-knuckling your way through temptation every single time. That's a brutal, exhausting way to live. Real, sustainable discipline is about engineering the temptation out of your life. It's about making the right action so easy, so automatic, that it happens by default. You don't need their permission to do this. You don't need to wait for Monday. You do it now. This is what I call designing for defaults. Look at your physical space. Is it built for the person you are, or the person you want to become? The person who wants to be lean doesn't stock their pantry with processed garbage. They don't fight the urge every time they open the fridge. They've removed the urge entirely. The food is not there. The battle is over before it begins. The writer who wants to finish their book doesn't rely on finding inspiration amidst the chaos of notifications. They use a website blocker. They put their phone in another room. They make distraction physically difficult, and deep work the only available option. And your inner circle? That's the most powerful environment of all. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's a cliché because it's a law of physics. If you surround yourself with people who are lazy, cynical, and undisciplined, their gravity will pull you down. You don't need to have a dramatic confrontation. You just need to slowly, deliberately curate your exposure. Spend more time with the doers. Less time with the talkers. This isn't about being rude. It's about survival. You are the CEO of your life, and you are responsible for your board of directors. Choose them wisely. You have a choice. This is the core of it. The repetitive, non-negotiable mantra for this chapter. Let it sink in. Stop fighting your environment. Design it. Make the right action the easiest action by default. Think about that. The easiest action. Right now, for you, the easiest action is probably to grab your phone, to hit the snooze button, to order takeout. You've designed your life for convenience, not for conquest. You've outsourced your future to the default settings of a world that does not care if you succeed. It's time to change the settings. This is the architecture of action. You are the architect. Every choice, every object, every relationship is a brick in the structure of your life. A messy room creates a messy mind. A cluttered phone creates a cluttered focus. A toxic relationship creates a toxic inner world. So what do? You get ruthless. Go through your home tonight. Every room. If it doesn't serve the person you are committed to becoming, it goes. The junk food? Trash. The clothes that don't fit your self-image? Donation bin. The maybe someday projects that are just guilt-inducing clutter? Gone. You are creating a sanctuary for your future self, not a museum for your past failures. Now, your digital space. This is your new battleground. Delete the social media apps from your phone. Right now. You can check them on a computer if you must, but you are breaking the addictive, mindless scroll. Turn off every single notification that isn't from a human being you actually know and care about. Your phone should be a tool you use, not a slot machine that uses you and your social environment. Audit it. Who drains you? Who inspires you? Who makes you feel strong and who makes you feel small? You don't need to have a dramatic breakup with everyone, but you must consciously, deliberately, invest more time in the relationships that build you up and less in the ones that tear you down. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose them like your life depends on it, because it does. That's the key. It's not about having Herculean willpower. It's about having an intelligent system. You build the walls so you don't have to constantly be vigilant at the gate. You design the path of least resistance to lead directly to your goals. When you do this, something magical happens. Your discipline is no longer spent on resisting temptation. It's freed up for creation, for building, for pushing your limits even further. You stop feeling drained and start feeling empowered, because the invisible hand is no longer pushing you down. You've reprogrammed it. Now it's pushing you forward. You've engineered an environment that works for you, not against you. You've stopped fighting the current and started building a ship. Now the winds of habit and the tide of your design carry you toward your destination. You've taken control of the invisible hand. You've shaped your world. Now it's time to master the one inside your head. The most dangerous voice you'll ever hear. You want confidence. You crave it. You look at people who seem to have it, who move through the world with an unshakable certainty, and you think, I wish I had that. You think it's a gift, a personality trait, something you're born with or without. You are wrong. That feeling you're chasing, that deep foundational belief in yourself, it's not the starting point. It is the finish line. It is the reward you earn. It is the dividend. Today we're going to talk about the only bank account that truly matters. We're going to talk about the currency you trade with your future self. This is not about money. This is about power. Your power. This is Chapter 9, the integrity dividend. Listen to me. Right now you have an account open. It's your self-trust account. And you are the only one who can make deposits. You are the only one who can make withdrawals. What is the currency? Your word, your promises. To yourself. You tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and run. You do it. That's a deposit. You tell yourself, I'm not going to scroll through my phone for an hour before bed. You put it down. That's a deposit. You promise yourself you'll finish that report tonight. And you do. Deposit. These aren't just tasks. They are transactions. Every single time you do what you said you would do, you are building wealth. A different kind of wealth. The kind that can't be wiped out by a market crash. Now the flip side. The withdrawal. You hit snooze. Withdrawal. You eat the junk food you swore you wouldn't. Withdrawal. You procrastinate. You make excuses. You negotiate with the weak part of yourself, and you let it win. Massive withdrawal. Most people are bankrupt in this account. They are drowning in a sea of broken promises to themselves. They've promised to start a business, get in shape, learn a skill, leave a dead-end relationship. And they've broken that promise every single day for years. Their self-trust account is so far in the red their soul is foreclosed, and then they wonder why they feel weak, why they feel insecure, why they can't seem to get motivated. It's not about motivation. It's about integrity, personal integrity, the integrity you show when no one is watching. That's the key. That's the only thing that counts. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you are voting for the person you want to become. Every time you break one, you are voting for the weak, mediocre person you're afraid of being. You have a choice. Right now, you can make a deposit or you can make a withdrawal. The balance of that account determines everything. So, where does this mythical confidence come from? It comes from the balance in your self-trust account. Think about it. Why are you not confident in a new area? Because you have no proof. You have no evidence that you can do it. You have no track record with yourself. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. That's the lie you've been sold. Once I feel confident, then I'll apply for the job. Once I feel confident, then I'll ask her out. Once I feel confident, then I'll start. No, backwards. Confidence is the byproduct of action. It is the chemical reaction that occurs when you prove yourself to yourself. Repeatedly. You don't need their permission. You don't need a cheerleader. You don't need a pep talk. You need a track record. The first time you force yourself to the gym when you don't want to go, you won't feel confident. You'll feel tired and sore, but you'll have done it. You'll have a data point. The next time it's slightly easier. After 10 times you start to trust that you'll go. After 100 times you know you'll go. That knowing? That is unshakable confidence. It's not about feeling good. It's about building proof. Proof that you are the person you say you are. Your brain is a computer. It's constantly looking for data to confirm your identity. When you break promises, the data says, I am someone who talks, but does not do. I am unreliable. I cannot handle discomfort. So your brain makes you feel small, weak, and insecure. It's just reporting the facts. When you keep promises, the data says, I am someone who does what I say. I am reliable, especially to myself. I can handle discomfort. Your brain has no choice but to make you feel capable, to make you feel strong. That feeling is the dividend, the integrity dividend. You paid for it with discipline, and now you get to collect it. You don't need their validation because you have your own. That's the key. This is where it all comes together. This is the non-negotiable truth you must burn into your mind. Your word must become law. To you, not your feelings, not your mood, not the circumstances. Your word. When you say, I'm going to do this, it is done. The debate is over. The negotiation is closed. The weak negotiator inside you is fired. You are no longer a democracy of conflicting desires. You are a benevolent dictator. Your word is final. When your internal word becomes law, the need for external validation dies. Why? Because you are the source of your own validation. You are the judge and the jury, and you have found yourself guilty of being competent, guilty of being reliable, guilty of being powerful. You pay yourself the integrity dividend daily. You don't wait for a paycheck from the world to feel good. You pay yourself every morning you get up. You pay yourself every time you choose the hard right over the easy wrong. You pay yourself in self-respect. You pay yourself in quiet certainty. You don't need their permission. You have your own. This is the foundation of everything we've talked about. Mastery, action, energy, focus. None of it is possible if you are a liar to yourself. If you can't trust the person in the mirror, you have nothing. But if you can trust them, if you know with bone-deep certainty that when you make a promise to yourself, it is as good as done, then you are unstoppable. You have access to power that most people will never know. You have a choice. You can continue to be a slave to your whims, your feelings, your excuses, or you can declare that your word is law. You can start making deposits today, right now. It's not about confidence, it's about discipline. The discipline of integrity. You've built the foundation. You've learned to trust yourself. You're paying the integrity dividend. Now it's time to talk about a force that can protect that power or destroy it. It's time to talk about the words you let in and the words you let out. It's time to master your environment. You made it. This is the other side. For so long you saw discipline as a cage, a set of rules, a list of denials. You saw it as the thing that said no to the fun, the easy, the comfortable. You saw it as the harsh taskmaster, the drill sergeant in your mind, the weight you had to carry. You were wrong. That was the perspective of the prisoner. The person chained to their impulses, looking at the key in the lock and calling it a shackle. But you're not that person anymore. You took the key, you turned the lock, and you stepped out. And what you find on this side isn't confinement. It isn't restriction, it's freedom. True, absolute, breathtaking freedom. And it was built piece by piece by the very discipline you thought was holding you back. This is the final, undeniable truth. Liberation is found through limitation. That's the key. The limitation of your distractions. The limitation of your excuses. The limitation of your weak former self. By saying no to the trivial, you built the capacity for a monumental yes. A yes to your time. A yes to your energy. A yes to your focus. Look at what you've created. Where you once had a schedule choked with time-wasting obligations and mindless scrolling, you now have open space. Time has become your canvas, not your cage. Where you once poured energy into anxiety, into drama, into seeking the approval of people who didn't matter, you now have a deep, quiet reservoir of power. Your energy is no longer leaked. It's invested. And opportunity? Opportunity doesn't knock for the person asleep on the couch. Opportunity whispers to the person who is already awake, already dressed, and already working. You have put yourself in the path of opportunity because you built the road to get there. You have a choice. You always did, but now you can see the choices with terrifying clarity. The choice between 1 hour of video games and 1 hour building your business. The choice between a lazy lion and a run that makes you feel invincible for the rest of the day. The choice isn't between good and bad anymore. It's between the person you were and the person you have decided to become. And that choice made correctly over and over is what built the freedom you now stand in. This is where the struggle ends. This is the master's mindset. You've moved beyond the grind. The daily fight is over. The war is won. Discipline is no longer something you do. It is who you are. It's as natural as breathing. You don't argue with yourself about whether to work out. You just lace up your shoes. You don't debate whether to start that project. You just open the laptop and begin. The friction is gone. This is a state of flow. It's effortless action. Not because it's easy, but because the internal resistance has been silenced. The part of you that whined, that negotiated, that looked for the shortcut. It's gone. You have integrated the commander. Your mind is no longer a battlefield. It's a command center. Calm, ordered, decisive. Action flows from intention without the static of doubt. This is the peak state of performance. This is the clarity you were chasing with all those distractions. You were looking for it outside. It was only ever available inside, through the furnace of disciplined practice. And how did you get here? By finally, irrevocably, accepting the core truth. You are the architect. Say it out loud. I am the architect of my life. Your life is not something that happens to you. It is not a product of your genes, your upbringing, your circumstances, or your luck. Those are just the materials. The bricks, the steel, the glass. You are the one who designs the blueprint. You are the one who decides what gets built. Every single choice you make, what you eat, what you read, who you spend time with, how you respond to a crisis, is you placing a brick. Is it straight? Is it strong? Is it taking the structure in the direction of your vision? For years, you lived as a prisoner in a building you thought someone else built. You cursed the small windows, the leaking roof, the crumbling walls. You thought you were just the unlucky tenant, but you were the builder all along. You just didn't know it. You were using cheap materials. You were following a flawed blueprint. You were building a prison for yourself, one impulsive brick at a time, but no more. You are no longer a prisoner of your impulses. You are the architect of your life. Look at what you've already rebuilt. The foundation of your health, the structure of your daily habits, the soaring towers of your new capabilities. This is your creation, and you get to keep building a better body, a sharper mind, a deeper legacy. The blueprint is yours to draw. The materials are yours to choose. You are no longer a prisoner of your excuses. You are the architect of your life. There is no one else to blame. There is no permission you need to wait for. The power was always in your hands. The power to say, this stops now. The power to say, I will be better. The power to take a hammer to the parts of your life that don't serve you and rebuild them from the ground up. That power is discipline. It is the trowel, the level, the compass. Discipline was the key all along, not motivation, not talent, not a lucky break. Discipline. It was the key that unlocked the prison door. It was the key that opened the toolbox. It was the master key to every door that stood between you and the life you were meant to live. The life of freedom, the life of power, the life of purpose. You have that key. You've used it. You are free, and this freedom, this power, this new identity, it demands a new level of responsibility. It demands that you protect it. Because the world doesn't want you to be this powerful. It will try to distract you. It will try to lure you back into the noise. Your final discipline, the one that guards all the others, is the discipline of controlling what you let into your mind. You've mastered your actions. Now you must master your attention. Let's be crystal clear. This was not a philosophy. This was a manual, a blueprint for the person you are meant to be. You now know the truth. Discipline is not punishment. It is the price of admission to a life of power. It is the armor that protects your dreams. It is the key that unlocks the cage you've been living in. The comfort zone is a cage. One day is a lie. Your environment is either building you or breaking you. There are no more excuses. The path is simple, but it is not easy. It requires you to embrace the suck, to build your rituals, to kill the fantasy, and to pay yourself the integrity dividend every single day. So here is your choice, right now. You can close this book and go back to the same life, the same frustrations, the same cage, or you can make a different choice. Your first disciplined choice. Here is your challenge. Tomorrow morning when the alarm goes off, you will not hit snooze. You will get up and you will do one thing, just one thing that your future self will thank you for. That is the start. That is the first vote for your new identity. The chain of evidence begins with one link. Forge it. The power is not coming. The power is here. Now seize it.